The opulence of the grand ballroom shimmered under the crystal chandeliers, casting a warm glow over the gathered elite. Whispers and laughter merged into a symphony of affluence, while the excitement hung palpable in the air. At the center of attention was an ornate mirror with a crimson frame, adorned with what appeared to be centuries-old carvings. This was no ordinary mirror. It was an artifact that had traversed through legend, the Mirror of Blood. Eleanor Kensington, a renowned collector of rare artifacts, found herself inexplicably drawn to the mirror. Her sharp blue eyes, often calculative, now held a glimmer of intrigue and suppressed fear. She had heard the murmurs, stories of Dracula's possession of the mirror, tales of madness befalling those who dared to gaze into it. Yet, the challenge called to her. As the bidding war escalated, Eleanor outmaneuvered the others with a final, decisive bid. The auctioneer's gavel fell sharply, marking her as the new owner of the cursed relic. Applause filled the room, tinged with envy and curiosity. Later that night, in the solitude of her study, Eleanor placed the mirror on the mantelpiece, its surface draped with a silk cloth. With cautious hands, she unveiled the mirror, her breath hitching as the ornate frame seemed to pulse with a life of its own. The moment Eleanor's reflection came into view, her world twisted. Her eyes met a pair of crimson irises that were not her own. They belonged to Dracula, whose presence seemed to swell within the confines of the glass. She tried to look away, but an invisible force held her gaze captive. Visions flooded her mind. Dracula's past atrocities, his insatiable hunger for blood, his unending quest for immortality. Her heartbeat pounded in her ears as her consciousness began to blur. She could feel him, sense his insidious presence slipping into her soul, merging with her essence. Eleanor's body convulsed as Dracula's soul took hold, reshaping her from within. Her eyes, once blue, now gleamed a terrifying red. She felt an overwhelming power, a hunger that gnawed at her very being. No longer Eleanor, she stood as Dracula reborn, ready to reintroduce the terror of the old world into the modern age. The curse of the Mirror of Blood had found its new vessel, and the night was just beginning to darken.